Hi guys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Kook Shed, a YouTube channel where I share things that I think might be helpful to do with surfing, bodyboarding, skating, whatever I think that you guys might be interested in. And today we are going to talk about the RipSurf by Razor. So it's a take on a surf skate, I guess. It's made by the same guys that make those little Razor scooters that have become really popular. It's like a surf skate, except it's only got one wheel at the front and the back. So I saw one once. I saw like a family using these. You know, the dad and the mum and the kids all had these surf skates, and I saw them going along a pathway, and they looked like they were having a whole bunch of fun with them. And I'd never seen them before, and I was like, wow, you know, that looks pretty cool. And I didn't really look into it that much after that though, because I don't know, got into other things, surf skates and whatnot. So eventually I found a used one, and I've been giving it a go, and I thought I'd just give you guys a heads up on what I think, what I've found, and you know, maybe might be able to give you some direction in whether you might want one. So what I've found, they're built really well actually. So they're sort of a moulded polypropylene, a thick plastic that can flex and bend a lot without snapping. So some bodyboard cores are polypropylene as well, for that same sort of reason, I guess, among other reasons. So yeah, it's built quite well, just like the Razor scooters. They're pretty tough. They're built to be thrown around and kicked around and jumped on, stomped on, and that sort of thing. So I was very impressed with the quality of the build of these things. They come with a little tail pad too, to mimic a real surfboard, which is really cool. And then it's got some moulded dots all over it, sort of in the same area where you would normally wax a board. So they're raised dots, so that you don't need to put grip tape on or things like that. So, and easy to clean, and the dots sort of don't wear down, so you'll get quite a lot of use out of it. Underneath, they've put quite a lot of research into the design of the board. They've found where the board's going to twist and turn, and they've sort of reinforced it. You can see these areas here are quite reinforced with the ribbing of the plastic, and it makes for quite a tough little setup. You've got your single swiveling wheels here. Now, for me, that was one thing that took a lot of getting used to. I'm used to having, you know, a truck with two wheels on it, as opposed to the one that swivels as well. So it was quite a difference for me from coming from a skateboard or a surf skate. Yeah. So before I get too much more into that, I'll finish going through the aspects of the board. You'll notice here you've got this little cutaway. So that's designed so that it will twist, so that the board can twist. So this part will twist one way, while this part will twist another way. And they can flex too, like that can bend quite a lot with weight put there and there, and still not snap. They're quite tough. So it will look like it's bending, but it can take quite a beating, which is pretty cool considering. So yeah, these wheels, once again, they're built quite tough. They're built like a Razor scooter. You know, just basic like casters from, you know, swiveling casters, like underneath a piece of furniture. Yeah, they've just put casters on. These wheels sort of remind me of like rollerblade wheels, I guess, or yeah, or scooter wheels to some extent, yeah. But it's definitely, although it looks like a surfboard or a skateboard, it's quite a far cry. I believe it's quite a far cry from being a skateboard or being a surfboard, obviously. And by that I just mean this principle here, this one wheel at the front, one wheel at the back, that takes a while to get used to. I think if you didn't ride a skateboard, if you've never really ridden skateboards, you'd probably pick this up quite easy. It might be better if you have no experience on skateboards whatsoever, because I found when I started trying to get used to it, I was still trying to ride it like a surf skate or even a skateboard, and I found that those leaning principles from a surf skate or a skateboard actually can confuse you when you're trying to get this thing going. It glides really well though, like it glides sort of like rollerblades have a really nice glide to them. Not that I use rollerblades or am a rollerblader, but they appear to have just that same, I don't know how to explain it, but they glide just, yeah, like rollerblades do, or I guess scooter to that some extent. But basically what I'm trying to say is they're different. They're different than a normal skateboard, and they're different than a surf skate. And for some people that is going to be tricky, because if you've ridden a skateboard all your life, you're used to the way that the skateboard needs to bend and turn to get what you want out of it. And this one you're going to have to sort of just take it easy and learn again from scratch. First day on this thing, I thought, yeah, I'm going to pick it up, no worries, you know, skated all my life, that sort of thing. No, I fell off a few times. I sprained my wrist. I'm pretty sure I sprained it just falling over. So yeah, it was quite a challenge at first, just because I couldn't turn off that old skateboarding way. But once I got that out of the way, yeah, you can cruise around, you can glide on them quite good. I've only been sort of going on flat stuff at the moment, just until I really get the hang of it. I've been down a couple of hills on it and stuff just to get used to it. It seems to like when you're going a bit faster. Once you get a bit of speed up, it seems to handle better than if you're going quite, you know, slow on it. It seems to like once you get up a bit of momentum. So maybe if you're getting used to it, take a friend or something, someone that can help you sort of get on and get your speed up a little bit to get rolling. Because going slowly, yeah, you end up having to jump off pretty quick. Yeah, so one tip that I found that seemed to help is the back foot does the opposite to the front foot. I think that's how it's designed to work, and that's where I was getting confused. So when your heel is pressing on one side of the board, your toe should press the other side. That's just where I'm at with figuring out how these things work, and vice versa. So your toe, if your toe is putting pressure here on this foot, your heel should be putting pressure here. That seemed to really help me get tighter turns, and the board seemed to respond better to that than trying to ride it like a surf skate. And that's why it was, yeah, a bit confusing for me at first. So you want to push off with your front foot there. You push off there first with one foot here, and then once you're going, quickly put your other foot, yeah, in the middle of the traction pad there, Sometimes I'd have it up against the steep end part of the pad. I just like to sort of nestle it in there. And yeah, generally the front foot was sort of up around here. But one thing I noticed was it's very sensitive to where you put your feet and how you put your feet. I just noticed it would respond really well when I had my feet one way, and then if I'd move them just a little bit, it wouldn't respond as good. So it's very particular. If you want to get the most out of these and really generate speed and cruise with them, pay attention to where you're always putting your feet and find what works best. So apparently they were based off the RipSurf was based off a rip stick, which was like 2 feet pads. It didn't have the surfboard shape or anything. It was 2 foot platforms, I should say, with the single wheels underneath. They still had the single wheels. It was connected by a rod, like a bar in the middle, and it was longer too, so your feet were further apart. So for this one, they did a little bit more research and design, I guess, and they brought it in a little bit, the length in, so your feet are closer together, and they've just mimicked the look of the surfboard. They got rid of the bar, and they've produced this sort of, I don't know, torsion strength core area, if you know, for want of a better description. And it seems to work pretty good. It's very interesting. It's not as easy as my surf skate at all. For me, I've just found that, like, you know, kids jump on them and they cruise and they pick it up pretty good and they do well. But for me, I'm still sort of struggling compared to the surf skate that I reviewed a little while back on my channel. But I actually enjoy it. Like, I think having this thing challenging you with your balance and having to focus and feel what you're doing with your feet, it's another motor skill that you're learning. And it's also another balancing act that I think is going to help you in the water for your surfing. I don't think it's like cross training so much like a surf skate is. I think it's just something different, something fun that can help you with your time in the water. Basically due to the fact that it is a challenge to sort of balance and figure out your feet and, you know, get your body speaking to your brain in a certain order while balancing. I really like how it looks like a little surfboard. That's what caught my eye when I first saw it, was just that it was this little mini surfboard that you can cruise on the street. So yeah, it does everything that, you know, it says on the box. It looks like a little surfboard. It skates, it cruises. I've seen people doing like tricks on them. You can do some tricks. I've seen people like ollie them and kick flip them, and even like ride them in skate parks and stuff. Drop in off the coping, things like that. So you can do little tricks with them. Maybe not so much like slides and things like with the surf skates. The surf skates seem to lend themselves a bit better to slides and things like that, because these wheels turn with the board, so it's less likely that you'll be and there's only one of them too. It's less likely you'll be sliding all the time with this board. But I've seen people do little things like you can grind up on gutters and things like that with them. So yeah, you can get creative and you know, have fun out there with them. So that's pretty much it. I just thought I'd let you guys know what I thought about it. They've been around for quite some time now, so there is videos on YouTube that sort of show you how to start riding them, and you know, there's people doing a couple of tricks that you can watch and get ideas from. So there's quite a large user base of these now. It's not a brand new thing, so maybe check some of those out as well and sort of get some tips. But yeah, I just reckon if you want to get started, try and borrow a friend's one or something like that if you can, just to really see if it's for you. It might not be for everyone. I'm going to keep at it. I'm going to keep trying it out and using it, because it does have a very unique sort of feel to it when you're riding it. It's different than the surf skate and normal skate, double kick skateboards and cruiser skateboards as well. It's different than that. So I kind of like it. It's different, and once you get the hang of it, it's like, I don't know, it's addictive. So overall, I'm really happy with it. Some people, yeah, it just might take you a little while, so just maybe, you know, wear some protective equipment if that's your thing, because you may fall off a couple of times when you get in the hang of it. You might pick it up really quick like some others, but I'm just saying it is trickier than it looks if you come off a skateboard and you're looking for something different. So just be prepared for that sort of learning curve. But overall, lots of fun, looks really cool. It's so cool to just be out there like on a surfboard, you know, surfing on the sidewalk. Like, yeah, that was sort of the buzz for me. But yeah, it's also got a certain sort of roll to it that none of the other vehicles, like surf skates and stuff, have. So it stands on its own as something like a little bit unique. And yeah, if you get a chance, borrow one, try one, and yeah, if you like it, go out and grab one, because they're pretty tough, they'll last a long time, and yeah, you can have loads of fun on them. Alright, well, I hope that was helpful in some way. If it was, hit like. If you want to ask questions or give me some advice about these things, like I'm still learning what to do with these things, so any advice, tips and things like that to help others, chuck them in the comments. If you want to see more reviews and things like that I come up with for the channel, just hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time here on Kook Shed. Thanks for dropping in. Catch ya.